Hear the boats going by. Hello, welcome back to the Agent Becomes the Client Part 2. I thought it would be more fun to do the chat outside so you can see all of the Black Friday boating going past. Clearly I just took a shower. These are real chats, real time. All right, so update. We did have our inspection. We did receive our inspection results back, and here we are. We are at negotiations, counters, etc. So a little tiny bit of background. We actually were given the previous buyer's inspection report from the seller's agent. That doesn't always happen. It can happen. In this case it did, but it certainly doesn't always occur. So we went into it with actually a little bit more knowledge than just probably your average buyer, which was very nice. We were able to make some decisions, etc., based on that report. That report indicated that the roof, while being a little older, 15 years, was still a viable roof, had probably 5 to 7 years left on it. It showed one leak, but it wasn't in the main structure of the house. It was in the Florida room, so not technically part of the main structure roof, so it was not a concern. As the agent, I ran comps, which means comparables. I pull within the last 3 months similar homes that have sold. Kind of fun fact, I guess, when you are pricing your house, you're going to look at solds as well as what is currently on the market and what's pending, that type of thing, to set your price. But when you are looking to put an offer in on a house, while the homes currently on the market factor in a little bit, their prices don't necessarily mean anything, because a seller could have their house on the market thinking that they can get whatever the dollar, and that might skew off your numbers. Side note, I'm realizing that maybe this isn't the most flattering of lighting for me. I look like I'm like aged 100 years because I've got the shadow on my face and the light behind me. So you're welcome. Again, you get to have the canal and all that pretty view. Anyway, as I was saying, so I pulled solds within a distance of the house that were similar size, so bedrooms, bathrooms, age, that type of thing. And then when I did that, there were 7 comps, and then you go into those comps and you look, okay, do they have a similar kitchen, similar bathroom, similar flooring, similar roof age, water heater, that type of stuff. Based on all of that information, our house that we put the offer in was actually the only one that didn't have updated kitchen, updated bathrooms, or updated flooring. So our offer price factored that in. It also factored in that we were given the information that the roof was viable. Again, older, but viable. Viable meaning that it was going to last for a little bit, and viable in that we probably would be able to obtain both financing and insurance. So fun fact, in Florida, specifically maybe other parts of the country now, I'm not sure, you have to be able to, your roof needs to, you can't get insurance without having a viable roof. So that was huge. That's why I asked the question around the roof when we were chatting with the seller's agent. Sorry, this is going in my face. So we put in our offer, it was accepted. I'm giving this a little bit more background, even though in the previous video I said that we had an accepted offer, just so that you understand where we're at now. So we ordered our own inspection because as an agent I would never recommend a buyer unless they had probably more knowledge than the average bear, or are going into it knowing you're doing some major renovations anyway, going into a purchase without an inspection. In our case, we definitely wanted the inspection because we were expecting to do like facelift type. It's funny as I said the face thing before. We were expecting to have to do like make the kitchen prettier, the floors, rip out the carpet. But what we didn't know, which is what the inspection would show, is if there was foundation issues, if there were wall issues, that type of stuff, because we weren't planning to do that type of renovations on the house. Inspection came back with, inspection reports are always super long, I already said that before, and that might be a totally separate video. Maybe I'll block out like identifying information, or maybe even after this whole deal is completely done. I'll walk through it because I think it's actually pretty valuable if you've never seen an inspection report. But they're always really long, they're super thorough, there's going to be things on there that'll freak you out if you've never seen an inspection report before, that are not big deal, things that are not a huge deal, but they're going to flag them. Like example would be cracked vinyl flooring. Well, yeah, we knew that, we saw that, but they have to flag it because everything's got to show. And then they also show like major component issues or safety issues. They'll like flag red safety issues. For us, we had some electrical that was flagged as red safety. There's a panel that needed to be repaired / updated because it had some double tapped wires. We did know from the previous that was not flagged on the other inspection report. We did know from the other inspection report that there were some blown GFIs, so like the outlets that pop if you get things wet. We knew that going in, so that was known, but that was also flagged in our report. And then up in the attic on our report, there was an terminalized wire that needs to be terminal. That's not the right word. You get what I'm saying. Needs to be tapped off correctly. It needs to meet code. So these were like code compliant issues that were flagged. We also learned that the garage door, the top panel has a huge crack where the like the garage door opener, where it attaches. That was flagged as a safety concern. And then most importantly was the roof. The roof, per our inspection, was at end of life, does not have 5 to 7 years left. It actually is basically like done. He said walking on it was like walking on potato chips, just crack, crack, crack. And then there were 3 leaks that were found, most likely caused by the end-of-life roof. So we called our inspection contingency, and then in our inspection contingency declaration, and then it's technically a counteroffer, we basically asked for the electric stuff to be repaired by a licensed electrician. And the dishwasher, on the previous one, the inspector didn't run it. He just said it was old. Our inspector ran it and it flooded everywhere, so that needs to be replaced. So we asked for that sidebar to another sidebar. In our original offer, we asked that the seller pay for a home warranty policy, which, had the dishwasher not been broken, would have been fine. It's old appliances, that's why you ask for the home warranty. Most likely, if it would have died in the next year, we would have covered it under our home warranty, but because it's a known broken appliance, it wouldn't be covered because it was already known. So we asked for that, and then we asked for the roof to be replaced by a licensed, locally based Florida roofing company with color choice approved by us as the buyer. What else? Staying at the same price. Getting thirsty, lots of words. So sent that off, and we did get it in at kind of the nick of time because we only had a 7-day inspection period, and we got it in on the 7th day. Seller's agent replied the next day, so actually we got it yesterday morning, which would have been Thanksgiving morning, that they were countering our counter, if you will. In a nutshell, they were going to offer a $3,000 credit and that would encompass the dishwasher. I believe it was supposed to cover all of the the electrical repairs that we requested. They agreed to do a new roof per, the locally based, all of that. Buyer and seller to agree on the color, but they now wanted a $10,000 non-refundable deposit, as well as an increase in the sales price from our original agreed contract offer to one that was $27,000 higher. So basically, the cost of the roof. Dum dum dum. Didn't like that at all. Didn't like that at all for several reasons. One, back to where I started. When I did the comps, we comped out the house based on the need for kitchen, bathrooms, all the things that I already said. But I didn't decrease our offer price that significantly for those items. I probably should have done so, because based on my math, we should have even come in a little over 20,000 under even where we were, because the other similarly sized homes and all of that had updated kitchen, updated bathrooms. And again, we went into it thinking we had a viable roof. So even though our offer in the eyes of the seller was below what they were asking for, that was based literally just on home condition, kitchens, bathrooms. But because we had that other inspection, we didn't factor in needing a roof because we didn't need a roof. So their counter offer to our inspection offer, basically they're assuming that because they're putting on a roof, their house price would increase exactly equal to that. Well, that's not really the case, because that's just not how it works. You don't get dollar for dollar in your when you do updates to your house. This just brings it to a point where we thought it already was with a slightly newer roof, but no, you know what I'm saying. And we were not going to be putting our money in to fund the roof on the house as a non-refundable deposit, because non-refundable means non-refundable. If the house doesn't close for whatever reason, that's non-refundable. We're not funding the seller's roof replacement, which they would need to do and I think this is probably why the other offer fell through, because the other offer previous to ours was it said that it fell through due to finance. Well, my guess is due to finance was the lender required the roof, and he must have said no. So I spent the morning putting together all of my data so that they could see the comparables, how we arrived at the original price, how the original price was assuming that we had a viable roof. We no longer have a viable roof, which then actually would take our offer price. We would have offered 20 grand less, and put that all together, gave them all the details, all the information, wrote up a very nice, lovely email, wording it as nicely as possible, and basically we are now waiting on their response. So our offer was going back at the same already agreed upon contract offer price, with seller to replace the dishwasher, because again, the home warranty would not cover it, with the seller to have a licensed electrician cover the safety, the panel, and then the thing in the attic. But because the GFCI outlets were previously flagged, I took those off. I mean, the electrician will be there anyway, but whatever. Took those off, and then with all of that proof that the house actually isn't worth $30,000 more with the roof, it's literally just a requirement to be at their price, because all the comps already all had brand new roofs on them and updated kitchen, the whole thing I've already gone into. So the seller would be same term as before, that to replace the roof, the local license, with a color agreed upon by us, or they could offer us a credit, in essence, escrow that money, so that at the sale, they would then give us the that dollars back, so that we could then replace the roof. In other words, if they can't replace the roof because of funds, that makes sense, but they now have the option to take the proceeds from the sale, escrow it, and then pay for the new roof. And that language, in essence, basically said the license, Florida contractor, locally based, the average of 3 quotes, and then that would be the agreed upon price. Hit send. And now we sit. I actually have all anticipation that they are going to reject it, and here's why. I think that they think the house is worth more than what it actually is, and I think that because I know that because that's what he put in his email when he offered it to me. Now, it could have just been, wordplay by the agent to try to convince me in the negotiation that I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. I could be wrong, but in this case, I'm not wrong. But I think that the seller, who, by the way, it was a estate. Its family member passed away, so he's the executor of the estate. He's not located local, and I'm assuming that he thinks it's worth more than it is, and I need the seller's agent probably didn't provide that. Well, he could have just seen numbers differently. Let's put it that way. I don't want to call him out for anything negative. But again, based on all of my comps, all of my calculations, it is not worth the higher price that they think it's worth. Actually, they think it's worth $10,000 more than even the price that they wanted us to move to. So $40,000 more than our agreed upon offer price, which the fact that they agreed to that price tells me that they actually probably do know that it's not worth that much, but knew that the roof needed to be replaced. So we're thinking it was worth at least $20,000 more. So this could be a really short series of the agent is the client. We shall see. But I have every anticipation, actually, that they're just going to reject it and then think that they can put it back on the market. But here's the thing. The problem is they now know the information that I've told them and shared with them and provided the proof of. So they technically are now required to disclose said information. Dishwasher not working, garage door broken, electrical hazards. I did throw a bunch of other things in the original thing that I didn't even mention here. So and the roof. So they technically, with the leaks. So they need to disclose all that now. So that's it for today. If I find out anything more today, I will try to add on and create maybe a quick follow-up video. Otherwise, stay tuned for part 3, whatever that ends up being. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Like and share.